Good evening, everyone. I think I might have... Yeah, I got started on an episode and then I stopped, so I just want to make sure that I'm actually recording here. Alright, welcome. We are here for the 30th episode, I believe. Yes, 30th episode of Cultist Simulator, the Librarian playthrough. Now, I think I caught myself before I unpaused, if I recall correctly. I'm pretty sure this is where we were at when we left last time. I'm looking at the Shires. Yeah, I think we're fine. Still gonna get hit by the Fifth Eye Curse. I was thinking about this. I don't believe there is any way for me to get past this curse because I don't have heart lore to advance it. And I don't have access to the parts of the Mantis that would get me that would get me the heart influence required, but that's a different matter. The biggest thing that I'm looking for right now is the orchid transfigurations. So the reason for that is there's a plan that I'm sort of working with right now. Like I said in the previous episode, part of the appeal of this little challenge is that I had a different conception. I'm pretty sure I talked about this last time. Again, whenever I start recording something and realize the video's not being made, it's always kind of tricky to remember what was said and what wasn't. But basically, running into a situation where I thought one thing was true, and then it's a little unlucky. I'm going to skip the text for now just so I can make a little bit more progress. We'll heal first of all. But basically, running into the situation where I have one set of assumptions, I test the hypothesis, it doesn't turn out. To me, it's actually kind of fun to have to show that flexibility, to be able to work through the all of the different challenges that the game's throwing at me. Obviously, if I'd sat down and worked out this playthrough from the very start, I would have been surprised, and all that planning would have been for nothing. So one of the things that I'm trying to work with right now is to see if a named location will get me the lore, or will still get me the named texts that I want. Looks like we blew it with the reputation. I know I was originally waiting for Leo, but I actually think we're going to be able to... put away the rumor regardless. Or not rumor, put away the reputation regardless. But in any case, the fun of this is to sort of like work through the problems, and if it turns out that I was mistaken, there was another path to go down, there's lots of different possibilities. Like being able to sort of try and do that in real time, like to try and be able to sort of figure this stuff out, like to me that's kind of fun. Like if everything sort of worked the way that I was planning, it's not really playing a game anymore, right? It's just sort of implementing some steps. It's a little bit I don't even know if the mathematical analogies really hit, but it's a similar idea, right? If you're working with a problem, the math classes... So first of all, I was never very good at math. I don't think I'd still count as very good at math, but I can do what I have to like get a job done, I think is the fair way to put it. But I can remember the math lessons and classes, concepts that I was trying to learn. The ones that were least effective and the ones that I probably haven't committed to memory, and equally importantly, I guess the best way for me to put it would be I didn't wind up feeling the level of interest for mathematics that I might have. Ugh, they are more cunning and more numerous than we'd expected. This will end in blood for us. Oh man, we are really blowing it. They were always the ones where I was stuck sort of implementing a procedure that I didn't really understand. Or perhaps I understood it but didn't really see the need to do those steps. Like I was doing those steps because I wanted to get a grade, and this was the thing I had to do to get a grade. I don't think I'm going to worry about the fascination here. I think we should actually just head back to the white door now that I think of it. Whereas the mathematics I definitely enjoy would be, you know, sitting down, working on a tough problem. I'm not quite sure why I decided to commit Leo here, because if Connie turns this into evidence, then there's not going to be anything to clear out. Okay, who got wounded? Valcine. So that's going to be another reason to back off. Their wounds are grievous. Heal a fallen follower with talk. So we're going to take a second here and add Tristan. We've got another season of ambitions coming up, so I want to make sure that I keep the... actually, we may also have a problem with the work slot. And man, everything's coming to get us now. So we've got tentative evidence against ourselves. The curse has taken hold. The third eye is a myth, or the pineal gland. The fourth eye is a mark in certain processes of ascension. The fifth eye now opens before me. Okay, we'll add funds now. But yeah, sorry, I was trying to give a math analogy here. Like, trying to solve a particular problem, even like something like, you know, Calculus 1, I think in a lot of classes people have to, lots of majors people have to study that, whether it's a breadth requirement or whether it's a prerequisite. You know, you're trying to find maximums, I guess local, at the very least local, possibly global, maxima, minima, extrema. Basically, sometimes, like, it's nice to think of it in an abstract way, because that is the point of, you know, learning those tools. Trying to find some peak or some valley on a particular function. That will be true if you're doing an engineering problem or if you're doing, you know, an economics problem. But again, there are better and worse ways of sort of conveying the information. And most importantly, what you want to do is you want to make that knowledge your own, right? I guess it's a little bit like playing Cultist Simulator. Yes, you can follow a wiki. Yes, you can get other people to tell you, you know, here's how you accomplish this thing in this game as opposed to that thing. But in the end, you know, the greatest satisfaction will usually come from putting your own effort into it and sort of finding you're on the same wavelength as the game and being able to, you know, gain that appreciation or being able to gain the, you know, the fun, the value of, or the ownership of a particular solution. So there was a point to all of this, and I've long since lost it because a whole bunch of stuff just crashed on top of me. Okay, Fifth Eye Curse is hitting us. Sorry, I'm just going to take a second to check in. So this is going to hit us. This will turn into a fascination. We're dealing with the pages. I am disciplined. I am all discipline. I haven't lasted this long to give up so easily. I just remembered I have a call in the morning, so I need to make sure that I wrap this up. Pursuing an investigation. Heading to the white door, keeping study open, continuing the expedition, and yes, okay. So no, we're doing everything that we need to. But yeah, I think a lot of this was probably in reference to the idea of trying to do a. Sorry, I should have read the text. It's a knock wound. One of the things that I kind of like about having to sort of figure this stuff out and work through it, I'm gonna add the money for a start, is that it does, you know, it's just that little extra a little extra charge of... okay, this is a terrible time for Season of Visions. I think I'm just going to wind up hit by it unless I bring somebody into the cult. It is just kind of nice to be able to say, okay, things didn't quite work out the way that I wanted. Am I still able to, you know, see this thing through to the end in the way that I wanted? And again, I have some plans for sure. Again, the biggest thing that I'm looking for right now is the Orchid Transfiguration, so I can test this other hypothesis I'm working with. I'm going to risk a restlessness here. I may not be able to do anything about the fascination, but we can at least get a dread to tranquilize it immediately after. And I'm going to actually wait a little bit because I could wind up with another fascination out of the white door. So as much as I'd like to get more Forgotten Chronicles, I should probably just leave that be. So I think I was premature with Leo. I think we're going to wind up... without a reputation to pick up. I still need to send somebody off to destroy the evidence, but I don't... Oh, God. We might be able to make this work. I should be a little worried, but I'm gonna go for it. It kind of depends on the order in which a lot of this stuff happens. Okay, let's get Dorothy in here. Call upon the Ringyu who is renewed. We are strong enough in heart to be almost entirely secure against this curse. I'm sorry, I've been really scattered, and I know I said that last broadcast as well. So, yeah, the aim that I'm looking for here, I'm looking to try and get the Orchid Transfiguration so I can test a named location. The theory being that the curse shrivels, our power is stronger than the power that was here, the curse won't touch us. The theory is that if I can get books from named locations... Okay, we got lucky there. And a Season of Ardors, so we would have been fine anyway, but yeah, the big test right now is going to be when I get to... So just as an example, if I get the Orchid Transfigurations, that winds up getting me... I'm pretty sure that's the item in oh god, I should probably just double check that, but I'm pretty sure Gladwin Lake... Yes, sorry, it's Gladwin Lake, not Lockwood Fen, now that I think of it. Gladwin Lake has those indignities perpetrated by the deceitful fraternity of Obliviots. Whereas... and the Orchid Transfiguration. So the idea here is if I get the Orchid Transfigurations, I can then test Gladwin Lake. If they wind up giving me those books, then that means that I can plunder the Kerishim slots to get duplicates of books. And if I can't, if it doesn't work out that way, then I don't need to spam Kerishim anymore. It means that I can avoid getting hit by the curse over and over again. So, sorry, that was a very long way of handling it. And again, if it doesn't turn out that way, well, that's fine. Then what I need to do is I need to figure out where I run into instances of having duplicate books, like I think De Bellis Murorum was an example of that. And of course, I can, you know, run in and change the save files and all of that, but that's a little less exciting. And again, I did make some notes in terms of different locations that I wanted to go to, so I'm not sure why I confused the two here, but I'm like 90% sure it's Gladwin Lake, because I seem to remember Lockwood Fen was the first one that I looked at, and I didn't have one of the books. Clearly that's something I will verify before, before I risk something, but... Last room. Nothing remains to bar our way. Search the cellar first, then the upper rooms. We don't want to be trapped. Okay. Again, way too early with Leo, but... Well, this is actually not a bad example of why it's not so bad for me to... I'm still gonna skip Leo. but it's not so bad that I got the subtle fracture at the time that I did, because I believe Neville would still be able to be advanced to a disciple. Okay, we've got Season of Suspicion coming. Well, okay, so there's trade-offs, right? I actually potentially get a damning evidence off of that. So, I have there's a little fancy footwork I'm going to do here. Or, no, maybe I can't, because I'm going to bring Neville up. We're staying the course. Neville first, evidence second, reputation third. And it's actually very likely that that evidence is going to get snatched away from us. Mirrors are calm, the sun is steady, the glory recedes. I'm saying if that means anything. Okay, in the topmost floor is an altar to the sun divided, which could be one of many hours. Sweep the items there displayed into a carpet bag, and let's make haste into the back streets. So the icy atmosphere is a little unlucky for us. We got the vital pigment, the witch-kissed oil. I will make a note of that. So this is, oh yeah, actually, I am putting my people at considerable risk either way. No, we're pushing ahead with Karashim. Okay, so here are the threats that are going to be coming up. Obviously, the more we go to Karashim, the more there's the chance for the... there's a greater chance for the curse to hit us again. We've got an icy atmosphere, so depending on when that goes away, we have the possibility of dread coming to get us. We'll at least get Neville up to his proper station. I am actually slightly curious. I don't believe we have enough for Enid, but I would like to double check this. I think Spencer Hobson's erratic, isn't he? Okay, so that's, of the two investigators, that's the better one for us to go up against right now. Yeah, we're not even close. So my follower, and in fact, I don't think I need... But it doesn't matter because it's the other way around. I need... I was thinking that might be a way I can get rid of the icy atmosphere, but... My follower will kneel as a novice and rise as an initiate. I will administer the necessary oaths myself. Okay, well, now I've got something to do with the dread that's going to be coming. So Neil pauses before he speaks and flinches easily. He's sensitive to deeper matters. So we knew that was coming. If this does get turned into evidence, then we don't... we'll add Layla right away. We potentially get somebody wounded, but in this case it may not be so bad that one of our moth followers is protected. Okay, so Season of Despair coming up right in time for the chilly atmosphere to turn into something nasty. I made the wrong bet there. To she who is flesh, I offer my wounds. To she who is stone, I offer this moment, where my old self divides from my new. To she who came before from light, I offer my secrets. The door is opened. So in this case here, we're going to leave the talk verb open. I'm going to get hit with the dread, but I do have a plan. What I want to see right now, though, is how the investigation turns out. And because that's going to decide how I use my talk verb. Alright, I'm safe for now. My adversary has not enough evidence to bring a case against me, and they found no new clues. So, the reason why I did it in this order is that I'd rather not put Porter in on a task that might end him. So it's actually, like, a level 5 moth is not the best that I can send off after evidence. It would have to, I believe there, well actually I don't remember if there is the higher level with destroying evidence. I think there is. But one way or the other, right, I do not want him in a situation where he may get another wound, even if it has to be another knock wound. The risk is just too high there. Better still to get Leo to clear out the reputation. Maybe the evidence goes away on its own, maybe it doesn't, but at the very least we can deal with the reputation that emerges. Now, if that was damning evidence, clearly I want to change my tune there. I want to make it so that... Wait, yes, we've got to... let's get a heart follower first. But yeah, so if it's damning evidence, then I really do actually need to get somebody to destroy it, and in that case it's okay to risk Porter. And depending on how threatened I was feeling by Dread, you know, that's another question. I should maybe be relaxing a little bit in terms of the investigation, but I'll leave that aside. In fact, I'm probably going to get hit. The notoriety is going to get hit no matter what. Yeah, Connie's on the case. Maybe Leo picks it up? Nope. Too late. And I actually think this fascination gets picked up, too. So, all doors must open as all lives must end. This door has found its end here today. I should figure out where we're at. Probably I need to add another heart follower, but I may also need some money, so... I've mismanaged the last few moments, but I will, I'll take my lumps, and we'll see where it goes. Okay. Okay, we do have some money. I'm gonna wait a little bit with Rhaenyra here, just because I prefer not to wind up generating more dread. Okay, so we did get hit by that fascination, all 0.4 seconds left of it. And Connie Lee's made the damning evidence. So the question now is, do I send Porter to deal with this damning evidence, or do I wait because we know we're getting my followers back in reasonably good time? I think in this case here, okay, so we've got 30 seconds here. We are strong enough in heart to be almost entirely secure against this curse. So what we'll do is we'll add Leo now. That should give us enough time to... No, you know what? That was too early again. I guess I could, like, jettison it. Want to keep an eye on the inspector's position. Again, I need this to keep Rhaenyra at bay, but I don't want to provoke... I don't want to provoke night terrors if I can avoid it. Or partly just waiting for a season of ardors to bring us to a better spot. The curse shriveled, that's a good start. Okay, and season of ambition's coming up, so I may have worked myself into a corner here, if I'm honest. So I'm going to wait the last possible second on the inspector's position just so we can lock up Rhaenyra. Figuratively. Okay, so we've got 29 seconds to get some... to get reputation, but that reputation's going to show up after the next one, so I was too early with Leo. We use the dream slot to clear the health. I need to remember to use my reason to clear out the... especially when I'm getting sort of distracted and sidetracked like this, I do need to be I need to be conscious of that tendency, because it's very likely that I'll wind up opening up that that evidence, which I'd rather not do. It doesn't like ruin the playthrough, it's just one of these things. I've been able to make it this far that I kind of want to see if I can hang on to it. Okay, so this is definitely one for me to keep in view. It looks like we get sick again, so I will go for some more fresh air and exercise. Okay, so we did tie up Rhaenyra, which is exactly what I want. Okay, and we've got a piebald pigment. We've got those who do not sleep. So this is definitely one of these times I want to double check that I don't have the text. So I'll be honest with you, I'm not 100% sure where those who do not sleep I'm not sure what that comes from. Book of the Centipede. So one thing I'm going to want to do, if I can, is you know, just make a note of where I get certain books, and if I find, how do I put it, like, if it turns out that you know, I've got an alternative to waiting for Gladwin Lake. If I wind up saying, okay, well, I know I get those who do not sleep. Like, there's ways to check this stuff, so it's not that hard. Actually, come to think of it, I know there's at least one in... I know there's at least one location where you only get one book. So, I'm sorry to do this. I have actually written this all down, so I just need a minute to refer to my... Ah, God, I'm getting so close to the end of the episode, too. Interesting. Okay, so there's actually 2 places that I can check this, and turns out I've probably been able to do this earlier than I thought. So, we have got the Victory of Crowns, and if I recall correctly, that is available in... Well, I say recall correctly, but if my notes are correct here, that is in Keeglan's Scratch, so I could have actually tested that. I could have tested my theory earlier. And then I do not remember my notation here. Okay, so it was Crowkiss Hill that I was mistaken, or not mistaken, but I was not kind of paying attention to the right stuff for. The Book of the Centipede. So in this case here, those are two locations that I could actually investigate, and I already have a copy of the book for, so that allows me to test the hypothesis. And Crocus Hill is, in particular, that one is interesting to me because it's one that I've gotten the book specifically from Karashim, whereas Victory of Crowns came from something else. So that's going to be the first one that I test. So I'm not going to start it now just because this is the sort of thing that I know I will mess up, but I'm going to be recording the rest of the episodes tomorrow, so I'll be fine. But here's the basic idea. So we were able to get the Book of the Centipede from Karasham. So we know that there is something in the save file that tracks what books you've seen and what books you haven't. So in this particular case here, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to say, all right, if you go to a named location, you're guaranteed to get a certain book. I don't know that for sure. That's just the hypothesis. If it does turn out to work that way, then that will mean that there is a subset of books, essentially the ones that you get from the repeatable locations, that depending on the order in which you do different expeditions, you will be able to get multiple copies, and as a result, you'll be able to get the knowledge from one while also being able to hold on to it in your inventory. There is a uniqueness thing that I need to worry about too, but there's another thing that I want to test there. So that's the game plan. I have the components that I need. I got a little too much tunnel vision waiting for the Orchid Transfigurations when I actually had the Victory of Crowns in my inventory. But in fairness, I looked at the capital fairly comprehensively, and I looked at the shires. I kind of gave them a cursory glance and sort of said, you know what, it'd probably be better for me to just try this out. But at the very least, I'm going to get an indicator as to whether or not I should keep messing around with the Karasham expeditions or not. And depending on what we see, that will kind of affect how I run with the rest of the playthrough. Obviously, we also have damning evidence, so a lot of threats on the board right now, but I think we're getting to an interesting place. So, and more importantly, we've got everybody at a disciple level. So, Edge followers, Heart, until we can get Rhaenyra into the fold. We've got our Grail for now. We just brought Neville up. Got our Moth disciples, who are also on the verge of death. Our Lantern disciples, our Winter disciples, and of course, most importantly, our freshly wounded Forge followers, or disciples. In any case, thank you very much for watching. I will be back for Thursday's episode, where hopefully we'll get a reading. I'm actually probably going to make a note for myself on my little notepad here, just to make sure I remember specifically what I'm trying to do and why, and then we will see whether or not I can get away with murder in. Oh, actually, there is one thing I want to do. Visit the Ecdysis Club so we can put the dread to bed. A dancer from stage left, swathed in red bandages, tight as tendons. She peels one away, another. I'll probably wind up reading that at the start of the next one. But anyways, thank you for watching. We will see you in the next one. Take care.